Right, off we go. Spurs against Everton. Both sides really out of the running now for the Football League Championship, but both in the fifth round of the FA Cup. Most times they produce fine matches. This one is no exception, on a pitch that played better than anyone could have expected after the rain. First, the Spurs team, and they're still without Mike England in that defence. That's becoming a little worrying for Spurs fans, but Peter Collins returns after injury to take his place at 5. Otherwise, it's Spurs' strongest lineup. And a newcomer in the Spurs side is their number 11, young Jimmy Neighbour, who made such an impact in that cup tie at Carlisle with the winning goal last week. As for Everton, such a familiar look about their side, surprising that their form in the league has been so patchy, but they're a side that seems to be swinging back into form, having won 3 of their last 4 games. Ball, Harvey, Kendall, a really magnificent midfield trio. But as we go into this game, some critics are saying that nobody is luckier than Brian LeBone, still to be in favour for England. Little did we know then just how unlucky LeBone was going to be a few minutes from now. The crowd, 42,000, referee Derek Nippard of Bournemouth himself, he had a good game.
And Spurs defending the goal to our right in the white shirts, Everton in blue, get us away. A pitch that was covered in puddles 2 hours ago, so it was a bold decision by Derek Nippard to say, without question, yes, on it goes. But obviously the right decision as well. Derek Nippard, the referee from Bournemouth. Henry Newton now for Everton. And now Gilzine. That'll fall for Peters. Nicely on his body. I suppose, if anything, what the players would hope for would be that it would continue drizzling throughout the game, so that the ball would move fairly easily across the surface. Now Mallory. And Tommy Wright, the victim of that rather fierce challenge by Mallory, and Everton's free kick. Good fierce challenge there by Knowles as well. Harvey to Husband. And Neighbour, the new hero at Tottenham, the man who scored the winner in that cup tie at Carlisle. Knowles in very briskly, but it's now Howard Kendall for Everton. Knowles again. Neighbour. Knowles. Wants to make the running down the left, Knowles. Here's Chivers. 26 goals this season for him. Neighbour once more. Oh, Chivers, a good pass and well taken by Chivers. And 3 Everton defenders converging on him in next to no time. That's what they think of Chivers, but now it's Knowles again to lift it once more. Peters with his head, and Chivers just passed. Good, swift, decisive break by Spurs, and a corner given quite clearly by the referee. So although the ball appeared to come off, finally Martin Chivers, it must have touched an Everton defender. And Peter Collins, pass fit only this morning, comes up for it. Neighbour, the short one to Peters. Neighbour again across, and LeBone getting his head to that one, only as far as Knowles. Spurs making all this early running. Now a throw to Everton. Young Jimmy Neighbour. And the players themselves were saying before this game what a brilliant winner it was that he scored at Carlisle. Mallory. And Spurs throw. Mallory taking it quickly. Knowles and Neighbour, a misunderstanding, and a throw to Everton again. Rather an ill-fated match, this one, because last season's was first of all postponed when there was a snowstorm here, and then when there was a floodlights failure when the rearranged match was played, and when there was a failure at a local power station. And he was outside the area quite clearly, and it's a free kick to Tottenham. Andy Rankin not liking the decision by Derek Nippard, but it was the right decision. And you could see quite clearly from our picture that he was beyond that penalty area. And it's a free kick to Spurs. Martin Peters and Knowles there with it, and they want Kendall 10 yards back, which he isn't at the moment, but there's Knowles floating it across. Collins not getting to it. Joe Royle. Philip Beale. Almost the first touch Beale's had of it, and Chivers was offside on the far side. Chivers, who very nearly got in with an early goal for Spurs, and I say 26 to his credit so far this season, a really tremendous season he's had. Collins in very quickly indeed, he'll have to be against Joe Royle. Kinnear. Good run there by Kinnear, but the shot didn't quite match it in the end, but LeBone having trouble to get it away, first off the body of Kendall, but now Perryman. Hard challenge there by Colin Harvey. LeBone having his version, telling Kendall, I think, to get out of his way. Gilzean, and LeBone after him. A nice flick there by Gilzean to Mallory, and a beautiful flick inside by Gilzean again. Now Alan Ball. Boldly across his goal to Tommy Wright, and now Andy Rankin, the man who's come in a few months ago for Gordon West. Knowles back to Jennings, and that's Pat Jennings' first touch of the ball. Mullery. Oh my goodness, there's a long one back by Mullery, and Jennings had to scurry back into his goal. He was taking his time a little bit. Really was a firm back pass by Alan Mullery. Chivers getting up well, but John Hurst beating him in the air. Ball now sending Royle away, and Husband lurking in the middle. Good break here by Royle. Turn back there, but Perryman getting it away to safety. Colin Harvey with the throw for Everton. Joe Royle. Not too much room out there for him, and Morrissey out there trying to help him, but down he goes by Kinnear. And a free kick given to Everton, for which John Hurst is coming forward, and Royle, you'll see, making his way also into that Spurs penalty area. A bit tight in that penalty area. There's Morrissey with the free kick, and Jennings immaculate there with his catching. Peters played first time to Neighbour, and my goodness, he controlled that well, but Ball saw the pass, and he's got Husband outside him. Harvey's made a burst into the middle, and if Husband can find him, it could be dangerous. And now Kendall going in hard as well, and Mullery doing very well to slide in there and get that one away for Spurs. Gilzean now, a lot of movement about this game. Knowles. And there's Chivers, beautifully placed for Neighbour. And Neighbour going on, and finally it comes to Chivers again. Neighbour's down, and the pass back by Ball. Neighbour really running through there at some pace. Newton. And Collins not allowing Royle to get to that ball. He decided he wanted it first. It's a good brisk start by Tottenham. Mullery now finding Jimmy Neighbour. Knowles. Gilzean coming away from the defence and finding Peters. Chivers. And Mullery was there looking for it, but it wouldn't go, and Harvey covered well. One of the England party for Malta, Colin Harvey. Steve Perryman to Knowles. Chivers again coming away from Hurst, finding Neighbour. And Neighbour in turn finding Beale. There's so much composure about young Jimmy Neighbour, and there's Beale putting one through. Gilzean will leap for it as well. Neighbour coming in again. Oh, a great shot! And a fine piece of play there. That really was superb football. Neighbour looks as though he's hurt his arm, but he caught that superbly. And all credit too for Andy Rankin, who really flew across that Everton goal. LeBone looks as though he's in trouble. There's Rankin, who made a superb save there. And Neighbour complaining that his shoulder is aching a little bit. And it looks as though LeBone is in big trouble. It looks almost as though they're calling for the stretcher. Yes, the stretcher coming on. Well, I wonder what Sir Alf Ramsey feels about this. Quite clearly it's a serious injury to LeBone with the stretcher on. Here's Roger Kenyon, the substitute. And the saddest side of all in football, to see any footballer like this, particularly a great servant of any club like Brian LeBone, to go off with obviously what must be a serious injury to his leg. Well, that could well mean a reshuffle in the England side, I would think. Sir Alf Ramsey obviously contemplating that already. Here's the corner for Tottenham. Neighbour with it. Rankin gathering it well. Now Newton. Alan Ball. Perryman. Oh, Perryman losing out to Harvey, who was coming on so fast. Ball across there as Royal goes in, but again Pat Jennings. Well, indeed, there's the sad state of Brian LeBone being led the length of the field and then out, presumably to a hospital. Tremendous stride Chivers has got, but that wasn't the best of centres. Quite easily cut out by Hurst. Kenyon, or rather Howard Kendall, coming hard for this one. Just keeping it in, and Ball harassed by Perryman. Clearly one of Perryman's main duties is to subdue Ball in the middle of the field this afternoon. And that's a tough task for anybody, let alone a teenager like Steve Perryman. Husband. Well, I don't know how that kept in, but somehow it did. And it's back with Tommy Wright. Royal going for this one and getting up well. Newton going in, Ball. Oh, a magnificent save. What a great save by Jennings. Ball looks absolutely amazed by it, as well he might. Fabulous save by Jennings. Ball then. Surprised indeed that he's not amongst the scorers in this match so far, with that shot that was saved with the corner. Husband planting it back once more to Ball. Spurs should have got that away. And Jennings not having too much chance against the crossbar. My goodness, how did that stay out? Kendall, oh, kicked away this time by Collins. Harvey putting it in, and the whistle had gone. Well, Jennings led a charmed life there. He missed the punch after making that truly tremendous save from Ball, and the ball landed against his crossbar without him able to do much about it, but there must have been an infringement right in that goal area. So 20 minutes gone, still no score, amazingly. Pat Jennings. Morrissey to Royal. Oh, and that nearly went through to Harvey as well. Beale cutting it out well. Gilzine. Oh, and Gilzine a pass back that very nearly found Husband. Elbows, or rather not so much elbows, but Kenyon pushing down on Chivers as they went for that one. Spurs free kick from an interesting position, almost central, a little right of central. Some 10 yards outside the area. Peters taking it quickly, Chivers going in! Oh, and a goal by Chivers! Superbly taken by the Spurs! Well done for Peters, and Chivers really on it very quickly. So much of the credit going to Martin Peters for taking that free kick so quickly, as he must have done so often in his West Ham days for Hurst. And this time, instead of Hurst, it was Chivers who was there to finish it off. 1-0 to Tottenham. Martin Chivers the scorer. Martin Peters, who certainly made it. Well, the Spurs fans are really happy about that one, and it was a fine goal. Joe Royal. Oh, Morrissey going in very quickly. Oh, against that stanchion, in fact. And it wasn't quite as close as it looked from this angle. Morrissey coming in very quickly indeed, though. Chivers for England goes up the cry, and Sir Alf Ramsey is on the other side of the field, and I wonder if he'll pay any attention to that. And Chivers off in chase again. Chivers against Kenyon. And Kenyon's foot just sticking out there to put the ball into touch. Perryman. Kinnear to Mullery. Gilzine. Kinnear again. Mullery once more. All played there straight though for Tommy Wright. And now Ball. Husband made a burst through the middle. And Royal is waiting there, but it's still Husband. Played there now for Colin Harvey. Oh, and another fine save by Jennings. That really is two world-class saves that Pat Jennings has pulled out, first from Ball and now from Colin Harvey. Ball with the corner. And Jennings again getting to that one as well. Now Mullery. Kenyon got a yard on Chivers and had every reason to expect that he would cut it out, which he did. John Hurst now for Everton. Joe Kinnear, or rather, Joe Royal. And a free kick given against Spurs for Everton. Collins and Kinnear waiting. Hurst, you see the Everton number 10 is right up there, a big man who heads well. Ball with the free kick. And Jennings, oh, forced to push that one over. Swirling, curling, and men coming in fast on him. And he did the safe thing and unquestionably the right thing. There really are days when Pat Jennings looks as good as anything in the Football League, and today is one of them. There's Morrissey, and Collins getting up well. Morrissey again, and Hurst on the far side. But it was going wide, even though Jennings still got a hand to it. Okay. Now Knowles. And now Jimmy Neighbour. Peter's gone bursting through the middle again. Knowles has suddenly, surprisingly fallen to the ground, but he's on his feet again to take this one. A collision with Tommy Wright. Knowles turning it again towards the near post. Gilzine straining to get to it. Peters again. And Henry Newton. Alan Ball. Oh, Morrissey coming in fast. And surely obstructed there, yes, by Joe Kinnear. So Everton's free kick. Henry Newton. And Royal not getting ahead to it. But now Howard Kendall going beyond that defence there, across the far side there. Joe Royal! 1-1. One that Jennings couldn't stop. And Kendall, who did so much in that, going behind the Spurs defence, and a nice little cross, finding that head of Joe Royal. So 1-1 we stand then, right on half-time. And even Pat Jennings couldn't stop that one. Right. And now Knowles. Knowles with a throw. And a sandwich. An Everton sandwich on Jimmy Neighbour. Oh, and quickly taken by Knowles to find Peters. Peters, in fact, was trying to curl that past the defence there. Mullery coming in fast. while those two Everton defenders were recovering, Spurs were away again. You really have to think quickly all the time. Mallory with the corner. Still not away. Now Newton to get it away. Kinnear playing it wide again to look for Mallory. Newton with the throw. Alan Ball. Kenyon to Joe Royle, letting it go under his feet. Well, the pitch has really played remarkably well. There's been so much criticism of the Tottenham ground in this season so far. There's a free kick to Spurs. But the pitch, in fact, has played remarkably well, and the first half has been a really entertaining one. A lot of good football being played and some superb goalkeeping at both ends. Philip Beale now. And now for Knowles. Peters. Knowles again. Trying to force his way through. And that was no chance there for Neighbour. Hurst back to Rankin, and my goodness, Knowles went in there very hard indeed on the goalkeeper, but he obviously saw the ball under the body. And there's a tremendous fight at the other end of the ground now. Rankin is down at one end, and the police are in fierce action at the other end. Well, Andy Rankin all right again, and we've now played 3 minutes of injury time at the end of this first half. There's the corner for Spurs. Chivers looking to get near it by the near post. And he must have been barging into an Everton defender as he tried to do it, because it's a free kick to Everton. And a repaired Rankin to take it. And that's left Alan Ball very much in the clear, and Husband going fast. Cut out though by Philip Beale. Oh, what a lovely dummy by Beale on Royle. Chivers. And there goes the whistle for the end of the first half, and a very good first half indeed it's been, with Spurs having gone ahead through Martin Chivers, with a goal made superbly by Martin Peters, and then almost on half-time, Everton having equalised with a lovely header from their number 9, Joe Royle. Still to come on the big match this afternoon, so much more for you. Manchester City against Leeds United, Huddersfield against Manchester United, but the half-time score here at White Hart Lane is Spurs 1, Everton 1, and we look forward to much more entertainment in the second half in just a couple of minutes from now. So now it's Everton then to get us away at the start of the second half. And it's Henry Newton with the ball now. Oh, and Joe Royle in very quickly, because Collins rather misjudged that one in the air. Royle, this time finding Harvey, in turn to John Morrissey. Royle's gone on, here he is. And one to the far side where Ball had made a great run. But in fact, Knowles was equal to it, but Spurs still not out of trouble. It's through with Ball again, a little chip. Royle up there with his head. Harvey to bang it. And finally Kinnear. Kinnear again. Mallory and Newton, and Hurst back to Rankin. Jennings quickly out. Probably Royal using a bit of elbow on Jennings. Beale, Perryman, Peters. Peters. Oh, nice play there by Mullery to Chivers. And now to Martin Peters again. Spurs starting off this second half at the moment in the way they started the first. But there's Howard Kendall. Two England teammates tussling for the ball there, Peters and Ball. And the throw given to Everton. And I must say it looked to me as though it was a Tottenham throw. So it's Harvey with the throw. Morrissey, back to Harvey. And now Hurst. Good pass there. Peters. Play well, Peters, this afternoon. He really has had a fine game, both in attack and helping out the defence. Chivers on his body. And good control there by Chivers. Kenyon snapping away at him, and he's got Newton ahead of him. And he's lost it. It's Tottenham's throw. From a position where Chivers might be tempted to throw a long one. But he's been told by his skipper to hold it. No, to try a long one instead. Aim for Gilzine. Newton will put that behind for a corner for the Spurs. Mullery there. Chivers right in there. Peters getting there with his hit. Gilzine! Alan Gilzine, who finally turned it in. 5 minutes of the second half gone. From the corner by Mullery. Helped on by Peters and turned in finally by Alan Gilzine, who put Spurs into the lead again. So that's how we stand then with 5 minutes of the second half gone. Spurs having restored their lead through this man, Alan Gilzine, his 14th goal of the season. And it's the time now for the Spurs fans to be jumping a bit with joy. Newton and Collins. Perryman. Now Husband for Everton. But Everton, of course, a good, resilient side, even though they've been a little disappointing in the league this season. They lie 12th, remember. But they are, after all, the reigning champions. A side quite capable of coming back again and again and again. Neighbour, for the moment, looked to be getting the better of Hurst. Now Gilzine. Side netting, Spurs and Peters particularly claiming it went off the body of Rankin. But a goal kick given. Perryman, but straight to Hurst. And away goes Joe Royle again. Oh, he's beaten him this time. And across that goal, and Kinnear taking no chances at all. Good piece of work by Joe Royle. He'd gone over to the right and had slipped Collins, but in fact it was Knowles that he beat. And Kinnear doing exactly the right thing. Because Morrissey was just behind him, and here's Morrissey with the corner now. A back header, and Collins getting it away, not very far. Husband putting it in again. And now Royle blasting it, and Kendall blasting it too. And now Harvey to try and turn it. To turn it and to swerve it, but he says he couldn't do anything else, and in fact it was well off the target. Cyril Knowles. To Martin Chivers, played nicely there for Peters to hammer it. Oh, just past the post, and a beautiful Tottenham move. A lovely little layoff by Chivers, and Peters on it like a flash. Quarter of an hour now to go. Hurst and Wright. And Peters back to Pat Jennings. Gilzine up. Mallory to try and fasten on it. And Harvey giving him nothing. Linesman flagging, and the referee saying yes, the free kick to Spurs for an unfair challenge by Harvey on Mallory. So Mallory to take the free kick himself. Gilzine waiting and wanting it. Chivers likewise. And Peters right in there as well. We're well into injury time now. Gilzine has got that one. Henry Newton taking too long. And the whistle, in fact, had gone. So Spurs have won by 2-1. Martin Chivers scoring their first goal. And Alan Gilzine, their winner. And Joe Royal, of course, the Everton number 9, scoring Everton's goal in the first half. So there we are, victory then for Tottenham. And a really entertaining first half, not so good in the second half, with the final score at White Hart Lane, Spurs 2, Everton 1.
So a hard-fought victory then for the Spurs.